So before working with Vanessa, I suffered with generalised anxiety disorder, panic disorder and agoraphobia, and for long periods of time really struggled to leave the house. It was really limiting in terms of living my life, and over a number of years I've been through a number of different therapy types, a number of different therapists, online courses, reading, and nothing had kind of hit the mark and sustained like a long-term recovery. So it was really important for me to find something that not only gave me the toolkit to progress and move forward, but something that could then be sustained as well into the future. I chose to work with Vanessa based on a family recommendation. Did some research and made contact and had an initial conversation with Vanessa about where I was, the journey I'd been on and where I wanted to get to. And it was a really useful hour of time just to understand and make sure that my requirements could be met and that they were realistic as well. And I was really convinced from that working with Vanessa was the way I wanted to move forward. After working with Vanessa, I feel in a whole different place. I feel I know myself better than I ever did. I feel empowered to make decisions for myself, to deal with any anxieties or thoughts that might creep in, and to understand where my values are, where my energy comes from, and to set boundaries to make sure that they are maintained going forward. I definitely feel like I am truer to who I really am now, which is a really important part of moving forward and managing without that kind of constant anxiety that I used to suffer before. Before the first time I attended one of Vanessa's retreats, I guess I was apprehensive, not really knowing what to expect. Vanessa reassured me about the various different things that were going on, which helped really put my mind at rest. But I think, just not necessarily understanding what I was going to walk into, who I might meet, what I might be asked to share or not, can feel quite daunting, but is probably one of the best investments I've ever made in myself and my recovery. During the retreat, it's really difficult to explain, I think, until you've been on one, that you form a bond very, very quickly with a set of strangers and you feel completely safe to share where you've been, the journey you've been on, and listening to others that have experienced similar things or have similar anxieties. It really takes away a lot of that isolation, and you find you don't necessarily come into it closed, but you're almost not sure what you're going to share, and very quickly you find that it's all kind of coming out and you can work through it together. That was hugely beneficial, and I think I'm a massive advocate for certainly group therapy sessions, having experienced them on Vanessa's retreats, as well as kind of the mindfulness and the one-to-one therapies that get offered as well. Yeah, that's made a big difference to me. After the retreat, I left it on a real high, if I'm being really honest. So the first retreat I ever booked on, I actually never made it to because my anxiety and my panic attacks were so severe, I couldn't last the car journey. So we worked together really closely to be able to come on the retreat, the first one I attended, and I'm so glad I did. By the time I left it, I almost felt like I'd never had anxiety or any mental health concerns. I transformed in 3 days, and I knew that high wouldn't necessarily last, but I felt that I could ride it and then still take that forward into my life, and that's exactly what happened. So I probably did 2 or 3 weeks of almost feeling like I didn't know what anxiety was. But actually what was really important was I'd learnt enough tools to carry on maintaining my well-being, to start breaking old habits and introducing new habits, to carry on going forward without that anxiety kind of looming over me. It was quite transformational, unexpectedly transformational.